Okay, good morning everyone. Shalom Aleichem. We're learning Hilchos Lashon Harah, Klal Yud, Halacha Tes. Klal Yud is speaking about if you see somebody violate an Avera ben Adam LaChaveroi, you could relay that information to others. Why? It's l'tayeles. What's the tayeles? Two levels of tayeles. You could do it to disparage bad conduct, and in such a case, which we call a low-level tayeles, you can only do it if the person who was spoken about already knows. But if he doesn't know, we have to presume he's going to find out. And now, it's a problem of rechilos. So this low-level tayeles is only permitted if the person who it was about knows about it. But if he doesn't know about it, you cannot speak about it unless you'll achieve what we call a high-level tayeles, namely you'll help the guy recoup his money or the damages. However, the Chofetz Chaim said yesterday in Sivkatan, or 2 days ago in Sivkatan Vav, that sometimes you could tell others, even if the person doesn't know about it, like we just mentioned, if there will be a real tayeles. However, here's the thing. We said that one of the criterion that you need to meet is you have to rebuke the guy first. However, yesterday we learned, what if the guy he will not accept your rebuke? Then you could speak about him, provided that you say it in front of 3 people, for 2 reasons. Number one, because if you don't say it in front of 3 people, it looks like you're trying to flatter the guy and hide something from the person you're talking about. This way, if you say it in front of 3 people, it's going to get out. It doesn't look like you're trying to flatter him. And also, if you don't say it in front of 3 people, people will be suspicious of you that you made this up. However, the Chofetz Chaim said in Sivkata and Ches, that's only a requirement to say it in front of 3 people if you're not afraid of the guy. But if you're afraid of the guy, you don't have to say it in front of 3 people. What if the speaker is a fearless kind of guy, and he is not afraid of anyone? And so now, and he is well known to only speak the truth. So what's the whole reason you have to say it in front of 3 people if you can't rebuke the guy? Number one, you look like you're flattering the guy and you're hiding something from him because you're too afraid to let him know about it. And number 2, people are going to think you made it up. You're lying. But if you're fearless and honest, so now nobody's going to think that you're afraid and nobody's going to think you're making it up. Then you don't have to say it in front of 3 people. Sivkatan Tes. By the way, these 2 traits usually don't go together. Courage and honesty. There are a lot of honest people, but they're mice. They're honest, but they would never say it to anybody else. And there are a lot of fearless people, but they're liars. So they're not going to say the truth. To be fearless and honest, very few people have those 2 qualities together. To actually say the truth and not to be afraid, very rare. If the speaker is well established that he does not favor anyone, whatever he says not in the guy's presence, he would say if he's here, and he's not scared of anyone. He is also established. He is also well known that he only speaks the truth. Mutter l'saper la'anoshim dvar avla. He is allowed to talk and tell people about the wrongdoing, the injustice that someone did to their friend. If he knows the person won't accept his rebuke, and he could do it even not in front of 3 people. Why? For such a person, those who listen are not going to suspect that he's a flatterer or a liar, because he is fearless and he's honest. They'll know his kavanah is to be zealous for the truth and to help the guilty, and to disparage bad activity in front of everyone. In such a case, and in the case that we mentioned, Sivches, namely, where we said you don't have to say it in front of 3 people because you're afraid of the guy. In these cases, you have to be very careful that you're not missing the other criteria that we mentioned earlier. Because all that we are missing is raka prata apetlasa. However, you would still need to fulfill the other 6 requirements. Namely, you had to have seen it yourself. You cannot impetuously decide that what was done is a wrongdoing. You have to rebuke him first, again in a case where you're not afraid of him. You can't exaggerate. Your kavana has to be l'tayeles. There could be no other way to achieve the tayeles, and you can't cause him a damage that would have emerged, that is worse than what would have emerged had you gone to Beis Din. Yud, Vidalid, you should know further. The Shavan Yachad din Sibal Lashon Harah Advar Oven Shmedel L'Chaver V'Sibal Lashon Harah Advar Oven Shmedel L'Machon. Basically, seeing wrongdoing that somebody did, and to talk about it, there's no difference if the wrongdoing was interpersonal or bein adam la'makom. Ach ba'avera shemin adam la'makom ein mutar sabalav afil yushalmu kol ha'pratim anal shebasef beis elam kein rolav sha'oiches ba'va'oisa oisa kama pa'amim b'mezid. Chofetz Chaim is just pointing out the one difference between repeating and relaying wrongdoing that somebody does, whether it's bein adam la'makom, bein adam l'chaveroi, is if it's bein adam l'chaveroi, even if he did it once, you could disparage it. But bein adam la'makom, it's only if he's a repeated offender and he did it intentionally. And it's something that is well known to be aser. In other words, if you see somebody damage someone or badmouth someone one time, you could talk about him. He's a Rasha. You see somebody damage another Jew or speak about him, he's a Rasha. You're allowed to talk about him. You have to rebuke the guy first, but if it's not going to work, you're allowed to talk about the guy. But if you see a guy did an Avera, it's only specific Averas that everybody knows are Asr, like Treif, like Arayas, and it's only repeated offenders that did it b'mezid. Okay, Rabbi Say, have an amazing day.
Recording stop.